Welcome back to Boerne Radio Home and Ranch Show. I'm James Duerr, your Texas realtor selling luxury homes and Texas ranches all over Texas, all over the Hill Country, and especially here in Boerne, Texas.
The Boerne Radio Home and Ranch Show is sponsored by Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Whether buying a home or selling one, our network agents are good to know. The Bevy Hotel. Make yourself at home. Platinum Wealth Solutions. Effective strategies for your ideal tomorrow. Pilgrim Mortgage. Helping you find the perfect home. And by Brand Builders Digital Media Agency. Social media marketing to grow your business.
So we're going to talk today about I want to build a custom home. And I come to Travis S. White, custom home builder. What questions do I ask you?
Sure. So I want to back up just a little bit. And any builder you go to, there's a lot of great builders in this area. Building a custom home, it's a huge undertaking. It's not something that just happens. A lot of people want to build, but the whole process is something that really needs to start years out in advance before the construction actually takes place. So depending on where you are in the process, if it's just a desire that you want to build a home, it's a great time to talk to a builder early on, but you really need to interview that builder and not just take them at face value or, they built my friend's house, turned out all right. I think the biggest thing in building a custom home that's going to make the experience go from being, so-so to exceptional is having a good trust relationship with the builder.
That's good.
That's a mutual relationship with either one. So if your builder is not someone you can fully trust, you shouldn't be your builder.
Yeah. And so you're basically, you're that quality guy that's saying, hey, you need to go out and you need to interview several custom builders. Sure. And find out who you're comfortable with.
Yes, and different builders, in the custom home world, there's different builders for different types of homes. There really are. And depending on the type of home you're trying to build, there's some builders going to be better suited for that than others. Mm-hmm. It's a natural question, and I'm sure you get similar types of questions like this about, everyone asks about cost. Everyone wants to know what's your price per square foot. And that's a horrible question to ask. And if a builder is advertising their cost per square foot, that's a red flag in my mind right away. Mm-hmm. Because how can I'm literally trying to build people's visions. I don't have a style. My style is their vision. So I'm trying to take their vision and put it on the paper with the help of designers and specialists. How can I tell you what my cost per square foot is? I don't know what the design is. I don't know what the design is. So, that immediately, that shouldn't be necessarily part of the initial discussion. A much better question for the client is, what is your budget and what are your goals for this home versus what is the cost per square foot? Because at that point, you're already looking at it like a track home. If you're worried about cost per square foot, don't build a custom home.
Here you go.
That's so true. Not knowing what kind of upgrades they're going to put in it, mm-hmm. or what it's going to be constructed of. I can't agree with you more. Too many people do it backwards.
Yes, and it leads to disappointment every time. Mm-hmm. Something else I want to throw out there, just for anyone listening to think about building, is a custom home. There's different ways to build homes, and depending on who I'm building for, I build in different ways. But a custom home really is about 60% of that cost is the bones of the house. It's the foundation, it's the structure, it's all the stuff that you won't see again. The other 40% of the cost, it's all selections. Mm-hmm. So how can I know what your price per square foot is going to be?
It can really go tremendously one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And so what's another question we should, that if you're thinking about doing a custom home with Travis S. White Custom Homes, what are they going to ask you?
It should be asking to speak to some previous clients.
Oh, okay, references.
Yes, and I have previous clients that are happy to talk to them, and then some that are even happy to invite them into their home and show them things and show them the whole finished product.
When I'm looking at, building here in the Hill Country, how far of a radius do you go?
I go within an hour's drive of Boerne.
Okay.
So.
Because you grew up here.
Yes.
You know about where the sun rises and sets. You know about the humidity. You know about the how much rain we get. Mm-hmm. You know about our wind. So you can kind of really help them on everything from site selection too.
Yes, I'd like to be a part of that early on the site selection. That makes a tremendous difference in how the home is going to fit on the property and also with cost. Just because a property may seem like it's an affordable property doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be affordable to build on.
There you
And
go.
there's a lot of factors, especially in the hill country. If you're not familiar with the hill country, almost every home I build has a well. Wells vary in depth. Septic systems vary in design, design requirements. And those are all things that fit into the home as a holistic masterpiece. So,
Good.
I think the fact that you are only willing to go 60 miles out is telling, because you're not accepting anybody that comes along, and you're not needing it that much. Does that make sense? So I've seen builders literally be willing to drive 2 hours to construct a home, and I feel like your attention to detail and you being on site and having the ability to get there, your radius would make me feel a lot more comfortable as a buyer building with you than someone that's going to be 2 hours away from the site.
sure. It's a quality control measure for that reason.
Absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
only so many hours in the day to do these things. And if I spend 4 of them driving to and from your site, something's going to give somewhere. So,
So
And I've been on construction projects. You're going to meet the builder, and it is literally 2 hours away, and you're there, and they're not there. So, the builder needs to be in a reasonable area and needs to be familiar with the area. So you're not waiting on the builder, and he doesn't show up.
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had that experience multiple times. So, well, tell us some more. What else do I need to know?
when you're starting off wanting to build a home, it's best to decide who your builder is going to be and then work with the builder and the designer as a cohesive team. So the older way of doing it was, pretty common. You'd get a set of plans made from an architect, and then you'd send it out to bid to a couple of different builders, and then kind of gauge the contracts from there. For custom building, you're always trying to meet certain objectives. People have a way they want their house to look. They have a way they want it to function. Usually they've had several houses by then. They know how they want it to perform in some way. And those things don't just happen by accident. That's why I think it's important to select your builder early on in the process, not based on the proposal that you get once you've already developed a set of plans.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so glad you're here with us again. We know a lot about you from previous interview, and that's why we wanted to have you back on again to let our listeners know that Travis S. White he's the real deal. He's from here. You grew up here. Your father was a builder. You're a builder. This is not, as we said earlier in the show, this is not your first rodeo. And anything else that if I'm looking at building a custom home here in the Hill Country that I need to ask you?
It's quite a long list there. So I can
What
talk
about
for hours
mortgages?
about it.
Since we have the advantage
Sure.
of having Christina here,
I
how
think
soon?
budget is important. I mean, truthfully, talking to the lender even before they come to you to know what their max sales price would be, so they're not completely jumping the gun when drawing plans, for example.
Well, so they could give Travis S. White a price
Yes.
that may not be a realistic price. So you want to
Exactly.
engage a
Well,
mortgage
know that
lender.
that
Yeah.
they're qualified to buy whatever they are, because once you start your process, right? Once we start drawing up plans, there's expenses at play there, and I would hate for somebody to get all the way down the line to find out they really need to be doing 500 square feet less if
Yeah.
they're going to do these upgrades to the house that are going to make them happy. So I do think talking to the lender early is important. Do you agree?
Yeah, yes, that's actually one of the things on the second step. I have a 12-step process to building a home.
Perfect.
And the second step is, go get pre-qualified.
Yep.
You need to secure financing for this potential build somehow. So,
And then if you own the lot already, the way that we handle the financing is different. People ask all the time, am I going to keep the lot loan throughout the construction loan, and kind of explaining that process and how they're going to make payments on the house as the construction goes along. A lot of people don't understand making interest-only payments based on the amount that's drawn. So when you start construction on the house or do that construction loan, the first thing that gets paid off is the lot loan, because we only want one lien at a time. The next draw is going to include the foundation, which is a huge part of the expense of the house.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's-
So understanding that process so that they're comfortable, making 2 house payments during the construction of the loan, truthfully, I think is important.
yeah, that's a huge part of it that can get pushed too late into the project. So,
We want it to be good for everybody, and working hand in hand with a good lender and a good realtor makes divorces are caused sometimes by new construction when things go sideways. Clients don't like each other at the end. And I think working with a quality builder that is honest and has integrity and knowledge, as well as having your mortgage in place and good representation from a realtor, really makes the process go much more smoothly.
So you're
for
talking
everybody.
about a team. So we're a team with Berkshire Hathaway. This is a Warren Buffett company. We're forever agents. That's what they say. Travis is a forever local resident. You're going to be here forever. If they want to build another house in 20 years, their kids are going to call you. And then they're going to call Pilgrim Mortgage, who's been in lending for over 20 years. So it's a great team, but your clients can pick whoever they like, but they needed to talk to Travis S. White, Custom Builder. Christina, thank you for your insight on
Absolutely.
mortgages and construction loans are not an easy thing. We talked about that before. You need an experienced person. So we look forward to having you on again, and we look forward to having all of our listeners listen to the Boerne Radio Home and Ranch Show. And this is the Boerne Radio Home and Ranch Show.